So let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts. As we talked about on Tuesday's show, the entire AFC South has an average projection below 500, and all the teams are very closely grouped together, which may surprise people when you think of the Colts were better than this last year and the Titans were better than this last year. But, the Titans were not good in our numbers and lost some guys, and the Colts have made some changes. So they actually only come out with 7.9 mean wins. They make the playoffs 37% of the time, 20th projection on offense, 24th on defense. And we'll start with the receivers because, like you said, JP, like the receiver room is really questionable. Michael Pittman, Matt Harmon loves Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman is due for a massive breakout. The problem is, and then who else is there? Paris Campbell is vaporware, and Alec Pierce doesn't have a very good playmaker score, and expecting him to come in as a rookie and do really well seems like a lot of wish casting.
Yeah.
And then, then it's down to Mike Strachan and Ashton Doolin and Kiki Kuti and a bunch of college street free agents.
Paris Campbell, by the way, is reportedly healthy right now. I'm just letting you know. He was
right now.
Call
me in an hour and let me know how he's doing.
I definitely think this wide receiver group outside of Michael Pittman is very much a projection. We're projecting Alec Pierce he has to be the second receiver in that offense. I think Frank Reich wants him to be that second receiver in the offense. That's why they took him in the second round. His profile in terms of as a receiver, his skill set, it mimics a lot of what Michael Pittman already does. He ran a 4.4 at the combine, and I was shocked because you don't see that on tape. Right. But he's very much a go up and get it, above the rim type of receiver. The problem is they don't have any other proven type outside of that type of receiver.
Yeah, if that's what you're banking on is, Hilton's going to come back and still be that guy when he's been on a slow decline for a while. But you're right when you mention it. It's all boundary 50-50 ball type receivers. I kind of think that's what Pierce is. Pittman's more than that, but that's kind of what he is at the core. I got the profile Strawn a couple of years ago. I like the young man, but that's what he is. And he's very much a long range sort of projection there. And the guys that aren't are Campbell, who is vaporware, and Kuti, who is Bill O'Brien's favorite binky fake Debo, run 10 yards into the backfield to run the reverse guy a couple of years ago. I can't believe they're still running. I'd rather throw the ball to Nyheim Hines than him, certainly. Where are these catches coming from? Overall, the projections are just so very meh for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm just looking at them.
That's the whole AFC South. The whole AFC South is just meh. And so this is no exception.
It's a wasteland from hell. This is the AFC South is Mad Max. There's nothing. There's no life there. Yeah. But I do appreciate that the Colts have the largest tight end room I've ever seen assembled. Yes. Mo alie-cox and Jelani Woods are both former basketball players who are 6'7". Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to be a good tight end group, but it's just going to be fun to see them trot out Pittman, Pierce, Woods, and alie-cox. And again, just play basketball with teams.
I do love Jelani Woods. It's funny, though. They're a team that's built out of all the things you shouldn't build the car out of. The Colts are great at guard and off-ball linebacker and running back and slot corner. And it's not like these things are not important, but those are the potatoes. And we're looking for the steak here. And the steak, I guess, is Matt Ryan. And
the offensive line, depending on Matt Pryor to play left tackle, does not feel like that is going to be a successful move.
No.
When I was doing the research for the Almanac, I was actually kind of surprised at how bad this offensive line played last year, outside of Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly, who both were often injured. Mm-hmm. I mean, they brought in Eric Fisher. Yeah, we know what Eric Fisher is at this point. Eric Fisher was bad. So now you're counting on Matt Pryor or Bernard Raymond, a rookie, to come in and step in and immediately be that left tackle for a quarterback in Matt Ryan, who does not move very much. He can get out of the pocket, but he's not a spring chicken.
It's all about, look what we've done under the circumstances that we created for ourselves last year by trying to solve the circumstances from the previous year. It's never look at the forward propulsion of this franchise.
It feels like they've built a good defense. When you look at the depth chart on defense, this projection looks like it might be too low. I will say a big part of the defensive projection is that they were at the top of the league or near the top of the league last year in turnovers per drive. I believe that they were number 2, tied for second, and that tends to really regress to the mean heavily, which suggests their defense is going to get worse. When you look at the defense, you're like, oh yeah, DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart and Darius Leonard and Bobby Okereke, and they're, reasonable at safety, and there's Kenny Moore, and there's some reasonable pass rushers with Yannick Ngakoue here now. I think a lot depends on, one, how good is Stephon Gilmore at this point?
Yes.
And 2, who is playing opposite Stephon Gilmore, and how good are they?
Right.
So in the early projections, I think Brandon Faison is going to be playing opposite Stephon Gilmore, and he was targeted a lot in Las Vegas, and he wasn't very good in Las Vegas. I do think it is hilarious bringing in Gus Bradley as the switch up to Matt Eberflus cover 2.
Right.
Gus Bradley, we know what Gus Bradley is at this point. Cover 3, single high. They're going to play cover 3. That's exactly what's going to happen. They were first in the NFL in snaps where they rushed 4, and then dead last in anything above that. Like they're not going to blitz. They're going to be through Seattle cover 3, which I think could possibly help the defensive line get more pressure because you're only focusing on one gap. Your role, Yannick Ngakoue, get to the quarterback. This could help Kwity Paye because he's not necessarily seeing as much attention now on the edges and another year of development. DeForest Buckner is going to be DeForest Buckner. Darius Leonard is going to be Darius Leonard. That secondary is going to be an issue, though, outside of Stephon Gilmore. You're going to be counting on Nick Cross, third-round safety, to step in and be the around-the-box player. Yeah. But then you don't have the deep safety, and you possibly don't have the second corner. Kenny Moore's great, but this defense is very reliant on outside corner, and you got to have a dude at free safety.
Yeah, it's going to be Rodney McLeod probably, who was great for the Eagles a couple of years ago and has been on the Eagles for a couple of years. He's not a terrible player by any means, but he's not like the dude at free safety.
What do you guys think? Right, the projections have the Colts, Titans, and Texans essentially all grouped together with the Jaguars only slightly behind them. Which team, subjectively, do you think the Colts are the favorite in this division?
I think so, just because I think the Titans are going to regress offensively. It's a very mad team that's going to be reliant on Matt Ryan suddenly finding the spark again and somebody on defense stepping up opposite Stephon Gilmore.
Let me give you a couple of prop bets in answer to that question. The Colts' chances of missing the playoffs. You can get the Colts missing the playoffs at plus 140. Now, say you are more sanguine about the Colts losing in the wild card round, so specifically losing in the wild card round at plus 200. I kind of like that one the best. I'll give you another one here. Colts to lose in the divisional round at plus 330. It sounds like Vegas is in that same range where we're looking at this team that's going to barely scrape into the playoffs. I believe it more because of all the bad news I've heard out of Tennessee in terms of Treylon Burks not being able to practice and things like that than any of the good news I'm hearing out of Indianapolis.
They could win the division, but like I said, 7 wins might win you the division in AFC South. This is hell, essentially. This is the worst division in football.
You want to hear one quick off topic? Listen to this prop bet. I'm not going to be here probably for this session. Over 10 wins for the Minnesota Vikings at plus 220.
Our projection system loves that bet.
Keep that in the mind. Back pocket. If I'm not here, we do Vikings. We're going
to more than triple your money. Yeah, our projection system loves that bet.
I'm feeling it. And I'm feeling it about the Vikings, which is saying something.
I mean, I don't think it's super is it 10 or more than 10?
Let me double check the wording because you're exactly right. It is over 10, so you got to get to 11.
Our projection system still likes it. I'm a little hesitant, but
if you like the Colts under 9, plus 200. That's an alternate win total at DraftKings. Under 9, so 8 or low.
Our projections are screaming to take that bet. Colts under 9 for plus 200.
First down into the secondary. Aaron Donald cannot be stopped.